So recovery implies moving back to where we were before. How can we use the pandemic as an opportunity to move forward?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and for many people, and for society, it can be a bit of a pause, and so it gives an opportunity to kind of rethink, where we're going, how we're doing things. But I think it's also highlighted, and it's developed a new appreciation in a lot of different areas. I think particularly there's a newfound appreciation for people that are frontline essential workers, especially in healthcare. And I think there's going forward, there's going to be a larger appreciation for that type of work, and potentially more support. Right now, we've brought in a measure to provide a top up in pay for those types of workers, and I think there's going to be a wider societal realization of the importance of people that work in those sectors. I think when we're thinking about where stimulus money is going to go, when we're thinking about building back better, it's also how can we make ourselves more resilient to climate change? How can we mitigate the worst effects of climate change? And that's going to involve a huge focus of having a climate lens on the type of investments that we're doing. And there's this great series that Corporate Knights is putting on every week, where they have a different cabinet minister that's participating, and they've been able to develop studies about how we can make all of our industries more sustainable. And I think those are the types of that type of input is certainly being taken into account, and I know that that cabinet is very supportive of that type of approach. So I think those areas, definitely looking at the way that we treat our most vulnerable has been highlighted as well. So I think that's another area that I can foresee when we're looking at making investments, that there's going to be big focus on making sure we can improve the way we do that, particularly in our long-term care homes.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and that if the federal government's putting a lot of money into our economy, let's try and make that economy that will be sustainable for the future. And particular ones that I'm just going to throw out there is the oil sands are struggling. It could make a lot of sense to provide bailout to them. Or we can look at trying to retrain some of those people to shift into new economies. So that kind of thinking, I think, is what really needs to come from this pandemic is, if we invest, let's do it for the long-term future of Canada.
Yeah, well, and when thinking of the oil sands, the type of skills and expertise that people have that work in that sector are highly transferable for some of the clean tech areas you're mentioning there. Whether that's the extraction of hydrogen. There's a huge potential in Alberta for that. I know even the Minister of Natural Resources of Alberta is quite supportive of using old wells for geothermal energy production. And there's tremendous potential and expertise and ways of using that expertise in other industries. And it just takes the forethought and the commitment to diversification. And I think that's there now. And when we're talking about bailouts, we put together the criteria for how we would deliver access to credit for large companies, using a number of criteria like limiting excessive executive compensation, ensuring you're maintaining jobs, limiting the amount of share buybacks, but also ensuring that you're able to show how you can contribute to our plan to mitigate emissions. So that's really key, because these industries are going to have to be part of the solution, and there is a lot of potential for the transition.